Don't forget to get your new AI-generated Alien Fan Club shirt. This merch has 7 AI-generated images on it. I love this one. You can spend hours unfolding the universe within this fabric. Get yours now. Link on the screen, link in the description. Go get it! Hey, what's up? Today I feel like doing a casual, classic news video. Old school Fluffy style. So let's just get into it. This is a news video. Let's do it! Hey, what's up? A man who robbed a bank, eluded police, got away from a car chase, and then a foot chase, and he got away. He was scot-free. And then he was caught later after being found in someone's house sleeping. He broke into a random woman's house after robbing the bank, and I guess went to sleep. Look, when you successfully rob a bank, stop breaking the law. You did it. You got some money. But the thing is, when you get money from the teller, it's not like this person's a millionaire now. I guess he went in, he handed a note to the teller, said that he had a gun. He got the money, it was reported, police chased his car, he crashed his car, and then he ran away on foot, and that's when he got away. And there was a woman in the car, and that woman was his accomplice, and she's in jail. But now they've got him too, because I don't know, I guess if you're breaking the law, you're not the smartest person anyway, so yeah, it's probably why criminals get caught a lot, because they're not that smart. I mean, shit, at least go hide in an alleyway or something. Don't you think breaking into a random house is gonna get you caught? I guess these people aren't thinking clearly, but that's just, oh, I'm not rooting for the criminals, but sometimes you gotta think. In other news, they are seeking a man who is accused of stealing $30,000 worth of underwear from a laundromat. They caught this man on film going to the same laundromat 26 times and stealing underwear. Eventually they raided his house, they went there, and they found over 500 pairs of underwear. The underwear belongs to anyone between 6 and 69. Okay, when you're stealing full-grown women's underwear, that's sick enough. But when you start stealing children's underwear, that puts you at a whole new level of sick fuck. So they are still looking for this guy, though. They know he's guilty, they just don't know where he is. So if you have any information, please get this guy off the streets. Because these kind of people, they don't get better until they get caught, alright? This guy's just gonna spiral. He's gonna get worse and worse. Pretty soon he's gonna be breaking into people's houses to steal their underwear, if he's not doing it already. Because, you know, this is just the one crime he's been caught for. I feel like these kind of people, just because they've only been caught for this one thing doesn't mean they're not doing other sick fuck things. Living that sick fuck life. Don't do it. It's not worth it. What kind of turn did your life take that this was like the idea you thought? What was your end game here? Steal the underwear? Be a sick, disgusting human being, and then what? Get caught? He was obviously doing this for his own enjoyment, alright? And that's a scary thing. I just find it so weird that they got this number of $30,000 worth of underwear. You went in there and you're like, oh yeah, look at that pile. That is $30,000 worth of underwear. And you're like, what? $30,000? You're like, look at those. Those are Chanel. Those are Chanel bras. Are you insane? How much would that car be in underwear? Oh, you know, that car, it's about 500 pairs of underwear. At first, they released this photo, and they were like, yeah, we think he's stolen about $5,000 worth of underwear, and then they didn't know how much this guy was sitting on. He probably doesn't even have a couch. He probably just sits on a pile of underwear. Ugh, gross. So gross. What a gross person. In other news, a popular Memphis DJ was found in his home decapitated. This is him here, DJ Ricky Buchanan, also known by his stage name Slick Rick. His brother discovered his body when he went to his house and found that his brother was decapitated. At first he said he thought it was just his coat pulled up over his head, and then later he realized no, it was much, much worse than that. He was also found with his keys in his hand and his pants around his ankles, and his dog was still outside in the yard. Nobody really knows what happened to him or why it happened, so they're investigating now. But also, apparently back in 2014, this same DJ was shot at outside a club, so ever since then he's been more of a recluse. But I don't know, maybe it's the same person. Obviously someone has it out for him. I don't know, that's just horrible. What a horrible thing for his brother to have to walk in on. That brother's gonna be in therapy for a while. You can't just walk in on your own brother decapitated and just go home and be like, well, I'm fine now. That is a messed up situation. I just wonder what decapitated him, because his keys were still in his hand. That seems weird to me. That seems like it was quick. You know what? This actually seems like the work of Bigfoot. Yeah, where's that big bastard at? He probably did this. In other news, here's a video of a pizza delivery man who delivered a pizza to an address and then decided, hey, I'm gonna get my side gig going as a porch pirate. So yeah, this delivery man delivered a pizza and then stole a package off the porch. And at first people were like, oh yeah, he was probably just posing as a pizza guy so he could steal. And no, he was a legit pizza man. The neighbor after confirmed, like, yeah, I ordered a pizza. I got my pizza. You can't just trade pizzas for packages, okay? That's not how the world works. And what if you were stealing something important? You know, and I didn't even think about this until I read the article, and they're like, you know, some people have, like, medicine and stuff delivered to them. What if that was someone's, like, diabetes medicine, and you just basically killed them? What if they can't afford anymore? Just, it's just such a sleazy thing to do, all right? You don't even know what's in the package. Could be a 12-foot dildo. You don't know. You might not want it. Stop stealing packages. It's just an easy way to steal. It's a very sleazy, cowardly way to steal. In other news, a Florida man was arrested after he attacked a Circle K employee with a chocolate egg. He became irate and he threw a chocolate egg at the clerk's head and then jumped over the counter and started beating up the clerk. This is the guy right here. Imagine going to jail and having to explain to everyone that you're there because of chocolate egg assault. Wow, instant clout. No one's gonna mess with you. He's actually been released now on a $1,000 bond, but still, you're dumb. Why? Was it worth it? And the reason for this is so stupid because there was no real reason. He was next in line and the clerk was like, hey, I'll take your stuff. Come on, let's do this transaction like you would at a Circle K. And he was like, no, I don't want you. I want this register. And like tried to go to the other register. And then they were just like, okay, get out of the store. You're being weird. I don't know. And then he couldn't take that. So I'm just going to do a little speculation here, but it sounds like this might have been a little racism. Like he didn't want this cash register because of the person working it, so he went to this cash register, and then all of a sudden he's throwing eggs at people. And the article actually said, the complaint does not indicate if the egg was Cadbury, Kinder, or lesser Hershey concoction. Oh shit, shots fired at Hershey. Damn. But it's true though, if it was just one of those hollow Cadbury eggs, that'd be fine. It wouldn't hurt that much. It would just be smashed on impact. I mean, it wouldn't be nice, but if someone took those like little solid chocolate ones and started pelting you in the head with them from like close range, that shit would hurt. If you got one of those in the eye, or if they like threw it really fast and it went down your throat. Yeah, what if you threw that egg and he choked on it? That could have been murder. This is why I never try to throw a punch at anyone. I just don't fight. I never really had a reason to throw a punch at anyone. But if I were in a situation, I don't think I would ever take it to that level. Because I know the one time I'm like, okay, I'm going to punch this guy in the face. I'm going to be like, I'm going to hit him like that in the face. He's going to fall down, crack his head open, and die or some shit. And then I'm going to be going to jail because I did a little, and then he tripped and fell or something. I just know. That's what's gonna happen. That's why I will never fight. That's right, you just attack me, I'll just let you beat the crap out of me until you get tired, and then I'll go home. Anyway, don't go to the Circle K and assault people with chocolate eggs. In other news, here's a couple kids that decided they were gonna try and break into a store. So they didn't notice the camera, alright. I feel like I'm watching an episode of Trailer Park Boys right now. It's like Ricky, Corey, and Trevor trying to do some shit, but they can't. So yeah, he ends up dumping it all over himself. Everybody laughs about the vandalism that was supposed to happen, but then he got a bunch of shit on his face. Like literally, it probably is fertilizer, so it's literal. It is shit on your face. Okay, well, fertilizer isn't poop, but most soil has poop in it, right? You know what I'm trying to say here. Look, homeless people have probably been using that thing as a toilet for months. I just hope that he took this as a learning lesson, you know? Because he really did dodge a bullet. Because had you picked that up and thrown it through the window, you were on film. Everybody saw your face. You would have been catching some charges. And honestly, I have this exact same plastic planter on my back deck, and these things are not that sturdy. I'm pretty sure if you threw that into the window, it would have just bounced off the window and nothing would have happened. You probably would have broken the planter a little more. Anyway, just don't be an idiot, okay? You know what's not a fun thing to do downtown Toronto at night when you're hanging out with your friends? Smashing business windows, okay? It's not a fun thing to do. Find something else to do with your time. Come on! Come on now, do better. In other news, a man was taken into custody after he opened up an exit door on an airplane and walked out onto the wing. The airplane was on the ground, obviously. And at first you would think, hey, this is just another case of a crazy person on an airplane that just could not cope. But that's not true. This man was actually celebrated by the other passengers for what he did. And they've written letters to say that he actually saved them. So what happened was, this plane was delayed for about 5 hours and people on the plane were not given water. They didn't have any airflow. Everything was just hot, sweaty. Everybody was getting overwhelmed. Nobody had any water. So this man took it upon himself to open up the door, let some oxygen in, and go out on the wing. And then they had to take everybody off the plane after that. So he basically saved them all. If you're gonna keep people on a plane for 5 hours, at the very least, can you give them some water? Or maybe at the very least, can you give them some oxygen? That would be nice. It's just disrespectful to the passengers. You're treating them like a bunch of prisoners. So the man was arrested. They don't know if he's still in custody or anything, but again, these people are all writing letters and notes, and I think they signed like a petition basically saying, do not get this guy in trouble. Basically just trying to say this guy did the right thing. The airline is at fault, not him. Ooh, in other news, here's another airplane one. A Delta 757 Boeing, its front wheel fell off. Yeah, it was lining up to take off. It was kind of just getting everything going on the runway, and then its front wheel rolled off down a hill. Holy shit, that's when I get off the airplane and never go on again. Apparently, even recently, there was another airplane where a piece of a fuselage flew off and broke a hole in it mid-flight. These planes are falling apart. Come on now. Shit, the wheel falls off on the runway? Are you kidding me? At least it fell off before you took off, I guess. If it happened like mid-takeoff, it could have been really bad, or if it happened while you were coming in for a landing, also could have been really bad. Shit. Now on some travel sites, they're actually putting in where you can select certain types of airplanes that have been falling apart lately, and you can say, I don't want to fly on that airplane. I love this idea, because if there's an airplane that's falling apart more often than the others, I don't want to be on that airplane. I've never been in a terrifying situation like that while flying, but oh man, I don't think I'd be able to handle it. In other news, one of the most prolific swatters has been caught. The FBI has arrested a 17-year-old who was responsible for hundreds of swattings across America. And if you don't know what swatting is, it's when someone will phone 911 and they'll say that some horrible crime is happening at someone's house when that person is actually innocent and not doing anything, and the police will respond to that call like a serious crime is happening, and it will scare the crap out of that person, and sometimes people get seriously hurt. I'm reminded of one time when a guy got shot and killed, and if you've seen that story told, it is horrible. If you hear it from the family's point of view, horrible. A man got shot and killed wrongfully over an Xbox dispute, an Xbox Call of Duty dispute between two teenagers, and they didn't even send the police to the right house, so this family was literally not involved at all. Anyway, so this 17-year-old is facing a laundry list of charges now, and good, I'm glad they're taking this shit seriously. It's no joke. It's a very dangerous thing. If you're swatting someone, you are intending to hurt them. With all the trigger-happy police we have these days, what do you think might happen? It's not guaranteed it's gonna happen, but there's a high chance it could. I don't know. I just stop trying to get people shot. It's ridiculous. In other news, two identical twins who were sold at birth have been reunited. This is a crazy story. This is Amy and Anon. I'm not sure if I'm saying A-N-O. Anu. They first kind of noticed each other when they were 12, and one of them was on a talent show on TV, and the other one saw her and was like, wow, that girl looks a lot like me. Their resemblance was so close that family members were even calling the mother of the one that wasn't on TV, and they were like, hey, why is your daughter on TV with a different name? And they were like, oh, you know, everyone's got a doppelganger, and they were just kind of like brushed it off like it was nothing. And then later when they were 19, one of them posted a video on TikTok of them getting a piercing. And then the other one again saw this video and was like, wow, she looks a lot like me. Or no, one of her friends saw it and like sent it to her and was like, this girl looks exactly like you. And she was like, yeah, she does. And then they started getting in touch with each other, and then they started realizing that it goes beyond just looks. They realized they had the same bone disease. They realized that there were just way too many similarities. And then the first time they met, met and saw each other in person, they knew they were twins. They were like, no, this is like looking into a mirror. And it made them kind of dig deep, and they realized that they were sold at birth. Their birth mother was told that they died, and they were bought from the hospital. They live in Georgia, but not Georgia in the States, Georgia in Europe. And then they discovered this sketchy past that they didn't even know they were involved with. So apparently their birth mother gave birth to them, and then she fell into a coma, and then she was told that her children had suddenly died. And she never saw the bodies, and apparently this is something that has happened to thousands of babies over decades, and now they're just realizing that there's this big underground baby trafficking thing happening in Georgia. Apparently they've done the math, and if this has been happening since the 1950s, which they think, and if it's been happening as often as it has been, then about 100,000 babies have been stolen and sold illegally. And now people who have also given birth in that hospital, mothers who have been told that their children have died under these weird circumstances and they never got to see the bodies, now they're thinking, oh my god, maybe my child was stolen and sold too. That is insane. A child being stolen and sold, and you know, like, everybody must be in on it. So these twins, they also asked their birth parents, like, how did you get me? How did you adopt me? And they said that doctors called them and said there was an unwanted baby, and all they had to do was pay the doctors, and then they got the baby, and they were like, you know, we just thought because the staff was involved that it wasn't illegal. They literally did not know that they were buying an illegal stolen baby. That's crazy. How much did you pay? So now, like, lots of people are coming out and realizing that they might also be a product of this hospital that was just basically trafficking children, just selling babies illegally. Another woman who gave birth to twins at that hospital under pretty much the same circumstances was told that her children had passed away, and she was given a suitcase that was supposed to contain their remains. And she was told to never open the suitcase and just take it home and bury it, because she insisted to take their bodies at home and bury them. And then she listened, never opened the suitcase, and buried it in her backyard. And now after this has all come up, she was like, hey, wait a minute, I wonder if they're in there. So she actually dug up the suitcase, opened it up. All that was inside was sticks. So yeah, she was also lied to. This is insanity. Well, I'm glad that these twins are together now, and at least they found each other, and they've opened up a whole new investigation into this, basically. So things are at least happening now. Damn, that's crazy. I could not imagine what they felt the moment they realized that, you know, their whole world was, like, not real. You know what I mean? That's insane. It's crazy. Maybe I was adopted. No. No. Me and my dad are way too much alike. Mostly just in our mannerisms. Sometimes I'm hanging out with my dad and I'm just, like, crossing my arms, and then he crosses his arms, and I'll be like, okay, well, maybe I'll do this, and then he'll do that, and I'll be like, stop copying me, man. Stop. I'm trying to look different. Okay, well, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed having a little news in your life. Come up to your screen real quick. Boop. And I will see you in the next one. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/FLuffeeTalks. And check out the new merch. Get it? Well, it's still there. Well, it's going to be there for a while, probably. Anyway, get it now!